Hi everyone, it's Tyrone from tyroneshum.com. Today I've got a really special guest on the call today, and his name's James Schramko. And I wanted to get James on the call today because I've been speaking to James previously, and he's got a really interesting story that I wanted to share with you. And with my business here and also his business, we all like to look at creating a lifestyle and also looking at generating different types of passive income. So I thought, why not get James, who's also an Aussie from Australia, and also wanted to just share with you his story. So welcome onto the call, James.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I know we've met previously in the past at a conference and also been sort of chatting over Facebook and Skype a few times as well. I just wanted to let the audience know, for the people who don't know who you are, maybe just give them a little background story of where you started from and how you got into internet marketing and where you are now.
Sure. Well, I started part-time like pretty much everyone else, and I found it very difficult, like everyone else. And the fact was, I was running Mercedes-Benz dealerships in my day job. I had lots of staff, and it was quite an intense job. And I figured that I should be able to apply my business skills to the internet marketing side of things, realizing that the internet gives you a lot more opportunity for automation and for leverage. I just found it so hard, and I chipped away at it for several years until finally I could break free from full-time work. My goal was to match my income, which, since I was on $300,000 a year, was quite an objective.
Yes.
And that was about 2 years ago. I quit my job then.
That's great.
And ever since then, the internet business has been growing, and it's sort of led to other opportunities as well. As you know, hardly any businesses understand internet marketing. So I've got myself in a position now where pretty much anyone I want to work with is happy to collaborate or give me equity in their business or profit share if I join forces with them. So that's a bulk of my business now, is getting involved with businesses and turning them into more profitable businesses using especially internet marketing skills.
Nice. So what led you to want to create what you've created right now? Because obviously you're on a pretty good income back at working at Mercedes, and I think a lot of people would probably be envious of you because you get to drive nice cars too and show nice cars as well. So what was the reason for the change?
Well, if you read any of these cash flow type books, you realize that having a job is pretty much just stalling your life. I was capped at 300,000. I couldn't make $1 million a year doing that job. I had no equity in the business, and it didn't work for me when I wasn't working for the business. So, the day comes that you stop working for the company, your income stops, and that's not a good solution for anybody. So I would suggest that the only true freedom comes from having your own business. I wanted to have more income. I wanted to have more freedom, and I wanted to be in control, because you're not in control when someone else is telling you what to do and when you have to work for other people. And there's no way you can possibly automate it and leverage it unless you get some form of equity or become a business owner. So that was my driving force.
Absolutely. Wow, that's really amazing. I just wanted to ask you, maybe make a quick comparison. So for people out there, how many hours a week were you working in your job at Mercedes-Benz, and how many hours are you currently doing right now?
Well, towards the end, I was doing probably about 50 to 60 hours a week in my full-time job, because I was in a general management role. So I'd managed to whittle that down a bit from 70. And I was doing about 3 to 4 hours a day on my internet marketing business on top of that, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So I was probably pulling some pretty hefty hours, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if we fast forward that to now, when you consider things like sleeping in and
we love that.
and doing things like riding your bike and non-work activities, I'm probably putting in about 4 hours a day on my internet business. So the main change was I dropped my full-time job and became a lot more productive with my internet marketing.
And a lot of people are probably going, wow, how did you do that? And I know it's probably going to be more than an hour long to be able to talk about that and go into details. But I think it'll be really cool just to maybe share with them how briefly in your story leading up to becoming where you are right now, to be able to go from 60 hours a week down to like 4 hours a day at most. I mean, that's something that you choose to do because can you not, do you have to work in your business now?
Yeah, because of the business model and the strategy that I'm using, I am working more than I would have to do. And it also comes back to what sort of income level you want to grow your business. So, if I was happy just to make $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year, I could probably work for 30 minutes a day because I have about 12 different businesses that I'm operating at the same time, and each one of them is a six-figure a year business. So if I wanted to pare down some of the more active ones, then it would reduce my workflow. For example, I have a mastermind group. It takes me 2 hours per week, and it generates in excess of $150,000 a year. So if I just wanted to do that, I could work no more than 2 hours a week. The reality is I'm building a seven-figure empire here that's on its way to 8 figures. So I'm well into the ones now for the $1 million plus turnover, and my goal is to get to $10 million a year. So for now, I'm prepared to put in the 4 hours a day. How did I get to that scenario? I'll give you the very shortest version.
Nice.
Is I became an affiliate. I built websites selling software, and I got very good at the whole affiliate thing, offering bonuses, creating free newsletters, getting traffic to it from forums and blogs and articles and pay-per-click and search engine optimization. And then I created products that help people do those things, and then I became, guess an information marketer, and built up my customer base slowly and steadily, full of buyers. I just always focused on buyers. And after I got that, every step of the way, I was able to lock in that sort of profit and then add extra services and extra pricing levels. So I built a membership community, which is one of the staple sort of businesses I have. And that's a very, very profitable business. And from there, I was able to leverage into masterminds, mentoring, and then finally building, sort of doing business deals where I can assume companies and do them over and then sell them, basically. So it's been an escalating hierarchy.
And you said that it's taking you roughly how long again? Was it, you said since you left job was about 2 years. How long is it taking you to get to where you are now?
I think I'm up to about five, probably coming up to my sixth year now.
60 on this. That's great. I just wanted to ask you as well, if we take a step back, you said that you started off with affiliate marketing and you started to also promote different affiliates. Something like that for anyone who's really just looking to start out and who's wanting to create like a lifestyle like you've created for yourself, what would you say is something that you could recommend them start off with first? Like, obviously, because you've done quite a lot there and there's quite a lot of things that you've got in your business. Someone just starting out would like to know, what do I do first?
I think every single person watching this should learn how to sell. If you look at all of the most successful marketers and business people, they are able to sell. And for us, we'd call it copywriting. But if you can learn how to sell, if you can compel people to take action, regardless whether it's your product or someone else's, if you can make it attractive for people to move forward, then that is a skill that is going to translate into everything you do, whether it's on your sales letter or your blog. And that's probably a fundamental skill.
Okay. And on top of that, obviously, you haven't done all this yourself, have you? I mean, have you got a team that's backing behind you to help you do all this stuff as well?
Yep. Like most people, I started by myself, and there's only so far you can get. One of the first things I outsourced was article writing because I really don't like writing articles. I'm a very slow typist, and it's not my core skill.
That's me too.
Yeah, that's it. So, as soon as I did that, I did the numbers in my head. I thought, well, if I pay X to have them written, and then I can make more than that in commission, I should be doing that. And that's where I really started to grow my business. And then from there, I outsourced a help desk, which allowed me to provide more services because service-related businesses require more support, but they're also more profitable. And then I started outsourcing design because I'm not a good artist. I can't use Photoshop. And it was ridiculous for me to spend this time trying to learn how to create banners and stuff when I could just pay someone to do it. And then I eventually moved into having other people build my websites and run my pay-per-click. And now I have teams all around the world. I've got a whole team in India who do just traffic and search engine optimization. I have a team in the Philippines who do everything from transcriptions, design, website construction, content, traffic, backlinks, optimization, conversions, analytics, videos, account creation. They do everything. And I have a designer in the UK, and I have an article writer in Australia, and I have an event manager as well who helps me prepare workshops, because they're a high profit item, great for product creation and also for customer appreciation. And that end of the business, you just need to have support unless you plan on working, 22 hours a day.
Absolutely. And no one likes that, right?
No, I think most, even if you're passionate about it and you love it and you're happy to do the work, you still want to leverage the work that you do. You want it to be the highest value activity at all times. And I know you write about that. You talk about the 80-20 rule and Parkinson's law. And it's always that same thing. And Jay Abraham talks about it too. The best and highest purpose for my time is to be the strategist and the marketing guy, thinking of how I can leverage all of my resources even better.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that one, because I think we all have the potential to do it. It's just the question is, no one really likes to sit back and think about things at times to be able to get other people to do it. And once you can leverage that and you can take out what's in your mind, because that's the biggest challenge, I think, is getting whatever's in your mind, putting it down on a computer, a mind map, whatever you want to do, and then finding a team to be able to execute, basically, to be able to get the work done for you.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to that, Tyrone. One is for new people, they say, well, what would I outsource? Because they don't actually know what the right things are. So that's one of the biggest challenges. It took me a long time to figure out what the right things are. And once you know what you're supposed to be doing, once you've figured out a way to convert and make profit, then you feel like a frustrated artist. Like, how can I get more of this out there? How can I be doing 10 times this? Once you know the trick that makes the money come in, you want to do as much as you can. Like, for example, yesterday I bought 34 domains from somebody that are all around the same product and topic. Now, I can't wait to have these developed and up there and getting traffic, because I know I can make money from them. There's no question, because I already have half a dozen websites in that exact same market. So the big tipping point is knowing how it works. And for some people, they might have to do it themselves originally to get that profit. As soon as you get to the point where you can make $1 turn into $1 plus something, $1.10 or $2, that's when you should outsource like crazy. Because for most people, it's a chicken and an egg. I'm not going to outsource till I make a big profit, but you won't make the big profit until you outsource. So
exactly.
If you want to get into the high income bracket, you're going to have to get someone else to do some heavy lifting for you, especially if you can do some arbitrage. If you can get a high income back from a lower investment in what it costs to get it done, you should be doing it as much as you can.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you on that one. If a lot of people do struggle with starting to outsource, and which is what I talk a lot about. And I think the thing is that I always say to them, look, if I start all over again and I was to run my business from scratch again, the first thing I'd do is to find teams around me to get the work done, because I know I'm lazy and I know that I have a tendency just to sit back and just look and enjoy it. But when you want the work to be done, you've got these teams around you where you can allow you to sit back and just all you have to do is think and strategize everything in mind.